For the last 25 years, I've really wanted to build myself a dedicated area for sanding, carving, routing, something that had built-in dust collection. And I'm going to share with you a couple of tools that made this a huge success. So I put the camera down for the last week and I just did some things that needed to get done around in the shop. And one of them was to build this station. Now the first thing I did when I got it done was test the dust collection. So I put a V-groove bit in my router and just did a lot of passes through that top one, and the dust collection was great. So obviously I'm going to try it without the dust collection, and I make one pass and then the whole thing is just covered with wood chips. So that dust collection system is working wonderfully. I'm so happy with its performance. So while I clean up this mess real quick, I just want to tell you a little bit about today's video. Today I'm going to look at products more than the actual build itself. We will talk about the build, but for the most part I want to show you the products that I'm using for the dust collection system and for organization in this. Now that right there is the Bosch 140A dust extractor, and it is a beast of a machine. We'll get into some more of the details here in a second, but take a look at this. Nothing. Not even a little tiny bit of dust in there. And the reason there isn't any in there is because I'm using what's called a dust separator. And the dust separator I'm using is from Vue Cyclones, called the Mini CV06. I have another one of these units on my other sanding station and it performs awesome. So let's take a look in here real quick, and I want to show you guys something that I think you'll be impressed with. That right there is super fine dust that's like talc powder. It's just being pulled out. It's not even making it to the dust extractor. Now, aside from just being easier to clean out, a dust separator like this will extend the life of your filter, which means you're not paying $18 to $38 for a filter for your shop vac, depending on which one you own. It'll pay for itself shortly, just like that, especially if you use it as much as I do. And it also keeps the filter clean, so you don't lose, suction power, because there's plenty of air moving through it. Now I'm using this, I'm actually sucking up 4 gallons of water out of this 5-gallon bucket. And check that thing out, it looks really cool. It's like a tornado going on in there. But I'm doing this for a purpose. I want to show you that, if you're going to use it for also cleaning up water messes, you don't have to worry about cleaning out the inside of your shop vac when you get done. You're not worrying about taking the filter out. And look at this, it is bone dry. The sides aren't even damp. So a dust separator is really a great way to go, especially on a machine like this where I'm going to be using it a ton. The machine I'm using for dust extraction is the Bosch 140A, and this really isn't a shop vac, it's a dust extractor. It has some pretty neat features. First of all, you can use it as a regular shop vac. It also has a self-cleaning filter that you can turn on and off as needed. It cycles every 15 seconds. Another neat feature is if you've got this thing plugged into a long extension cord and you're drawing a little too much in the amps, it has amp adjustment so you can turn the amps down. And probably my favorite feature on this is the tool activator. So you plug in any tool, plug in your dust collection, turn the tool on, it turns the shop back on. No messing around with turning on 2 things, turning off 2 things. Simply plug it in, hook up your dust collection, go to town. Filter changing on this couldn't be any easier. Simply lift up the back, pull out the filter, and stick in a new one. So that's another really nice feature of this machine. Now, this is not an inexpensive machine, but it's well worth the money, and it's engineered very well and will last a long time. I also want to point out on this build, I'm using a new product from FastCap called Kaizen Bends. And it's so new, I don't even believe it's up on their website yet, but I'll post a link below when I do. These guys are going to be all over my shop. Now, with a little bit of extra space left in this build, I wanted to use that up for clamp storage. I don't like hanging clamps on the wall. They just take up so much space. So I built this little pull-out with some drawer slides on it, and I can hang 30 clamps in there. And the praying mantis decided that he likes that area too, or she likes that area as well. So it's nice to be able to tuck that out of the way. Also added an inexpensive vise to this so I could clamp projects down that I want to carve on. And I have a big giant piece of trackpad on the top. Now I had to pull some strings to get that. That's not commercially available. I wish they would sell it in larger sections because it's a really great product. So, you know what? Thanks everybody for watching today. I wanted to share some of these products that I'm using that I'm really impressed with, and I'm going to be sharing more in the future. And I want to thank Bosch, FastCap, and Vue Cyclones for really supporting what we're doing here online with the free woodworking content and really getting behind innovation and just really making some awesome products. So thanks guys, I really appreciate you, and we'll be talking to you soon.